Yo, what's up, jazz guitarist? Larry Tamanini here. Hey, how's it going? You just caught me playing through a couple choruses of an F blues, and I was working on my comp. You know, getting your comp and accompanying stuff is one of the trickiest things to do on the guitar because you kind of have to have some prereqs, you know? You have to be able to know some tunes, be able to hold some tunes down, and have some rhythmic independence. So it's definitely a hard thing to accomplish to be a good comper. And I just want to share a couple of tips on melodic comping that can really save you a lot of aggravation and help comprehend some of these details. So check it out. You heard me playing through an F blues, and I really wasn't playing a ton of big chords. I tried to play double stops, which is something we're going to talk about. Chords that moved, right? Common tones, voice leading, and trying to use a little bit of space. You know, the silent partner is the space that you're playing. And if you're practicing accompanying and you're not leaving any space, well, it's going to be kind of tough for the soloist. So don't be scared to lay out for a couple of beats, sometimes even a bar. You know, I try to keep these under 5 or 10 minutes, so I didn't want to leave out too much space over 2 choruses. But anyway, so check it out. When I started, I played about 4 bars because again, we're talking about melodic comping, and even though this is chords, we want to talk about using some lines to develop your chords. They all work together, right? So I played a figure up front. Right? I played that whole line to build up to, what I ended up doing there is just outlining a chord, an F triad. And then when I got to my 4th, I kind of like to stretch out the harmony a little bit, so you could think of that as like a B flat sus off that sound. And then I repeated this idea, right? So much of playing the blues and understanding call and response and getting some good melodic ideas is the call and response. You hear that, and again, there's another blues figure. I'm not going to play that every single time. But again, I'm sort of comping for myself, but I would totally play that underneath a soloist. You don't have to play those big, chunky chords all the time. Now, when I got to here, I did play a big chord. Played this big B flat sus. And then I went kind of Pat Martino lick, right? So many different ways you can piece that together rhythmically and, just as the line moves along with the soloist to give them some voice leading. Give them, when you hear great piano players, they're not just, button mashing. You're hearing them lead the soloist. And then double stops again. Now, instead of playing them, I kind of broke up the way they played and got a little bit of sustain in there so you can hear some of those out, nice harmonies. And now here's my turnaround. Right, little chromatic 2/5. Once I get back to my 1, I want to play off this chord. Sort of a poor man's piano comp. And when I got to this part, I ended up kind of playing over that F chord, something I like to slide in there. Maybe wouldn't do that on the second chorus comping for somebody, but again, you have to slide some of your own language in there. This is, when I talk about own language, this is something I ripped from a Miles Davis. But, really cool modern sounding idea that's going to take me to, again, so much of playing chords is just playing double stops, right? And here's a pretty cool sort of Motown inspired line where I'm just playing the B flat and the A flat, going straight down the chord, and then I have this 1 4. There's that 3 6, and again I tried to get some voice leading, so I'm going to go. And then I played a little whole tone action over that. Again, using a lot of double stops. So just that idea of trying to get like some voice leading. Or in this case, that would be. I love trying to use that whole tone sound over the 5 chord there. So many different things that you can end up doing, right? As long as you resolve it, you sound like a genius. So check it out. Let's recap on some things that we're talking about that we can do to kind of spice up our comping. Number 1, double stops. Can you play a whole chorus using just the guide tones? And then you can move it around. So important. Really can help you work on your time, right? Because then you're really placing all the stuff that you want to try to put in there rhythmically. You're really trying to answer what the soloist is doing. The next thing is just trying to get some cool voice leading ideas. We sort of talked about that. Call and response. Some chords, you know, have that little line that moves a little bit on top. Pat Martino lick. More double stops. And then these ideas, double stops into a chord, very kind of pianistic type of thing to do. Really cool idea to have. And again, using that space, don't be afraid to play time. Little moving line. You can kind of hear how that would work as an accompanist. Maybe I'd probably phrase it a little differently depending on what was happening, but for what was going on in my head, it seemed like a good move. And again, just trying to play off that chord. So these are just some things that you can really do to get some cool stuff and cool ideas into your comp. Comping doesn't have to be boring. It's all about nuance. It's like the baseball end of jazz guitar. If soloing is batting, comping is definitely playing the field. And you don't want to be not paying attention when the ball's hit to you, and then you gotta you struggle following along, and maybe you get in the way, and you're like, oh, I just want to DH on this gig. There's no DHing on a gig. You can't just be a designated hitter. Everybody has to play time. So all right, jazz guitar friends, thanks for hanging out. If you made it this far, I really appreciate it. Don't forget to hit that like, share, and subscribe button. I try to put up content every week. Thanks for all the amazing support. Keep swinging. Bebop!